Okay, here we are again. Another Australian Collectors Chat with myself, Ryan, and here is Rob. Good to have you back again, Rob, as always.
Thanks for having me, Ryan.
No worries, the man with the movie knowledge.
Some would say I'm full of something else, but anyway.
But yeah, so you, Rob, anything new to come in this week, collectibles wise? So you got something?
I did get one new piece coming this week. You can see, where is it? Part of it over here. There it is. There's the base. It's the Grey Hulk that Sideshow recently done. The Grey Hulk premium format. Got it in this week. Haven't had the opportunity to unbox it further than the base, so he might make an appearance next week. Everything seems to be fine with it. I just haven't had time to get around and put it all together. Been a busy week for myself personally, but happy to get that in. And I cross my fingers. I might get a very special piece in next week if it turns up on time. It's ordered, it's paid for, it's just coming. So maybe we'll have two things to show next week. More than just a base. That might be the way to go. But otherwise, personally, really busy for myself. Statue-wise, very, very slow week. I don't think there was much news out and about. It was only a few things came down the pike, so to speak. So pretty slow week, statue-wise. I think everything's maybe the calm before the storm of Comic-Con later on in a few months' time. That we're in that sort of lull at the moment. Everyone's just biding their time, and we haven't seen much drop either in terms of big scale pieces. But I know people are waiting on a few bits and pieces out there. Maybe the what is it? The Dark Side, I think it is. Dark Sea, Dark Side. That premium format should be coming soon. I think that's about it, really. That's sort of, I think, next on the chopping block, and otherwise, all pretty slow at the moment, which is good. That's a good thing. It allows the wallet to recuperate, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, we all know when Comic-Con comes, it's going to be like the biggest bitch slap to the face that we're going to get. Because then that's when everyone just goes, I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that. Wait a minute.
Yes,
why I want that?
And the wallet starts to hemorrhage when you're looking at all those pieces and going, oh dear, there's my New Year's bonus, there's my Christmas bonus, there's my birthday bonus, all gone in one hit. Fantastic.
Yeah.
How about yourself? You got anything new this week?
Obviously, as we were mentioning before, collectible-wise, not a great deal. Unless you count comics as collectibles, which in a way they are, but I just read them and put them in a box and I'm good.
Yeah.
Pull them out. But I got, as I was just showing you earlier, just showed to the people, just got that, that is volume 3 of the Detective Comics for the New 52.
Nice.
And then this is Batman in Europa, I think that's how you pronounce it, which is a standalone story about Batman and Joker having to team up together and work out, I think it's Riddler's, might be the Riddler's puzzles or puzzles or something. They have to work together anyway. I'll let you know when I finally read it, but it's got very unique artwork, like I was saying earlier, very like watercolor sort of design. It's very, very unique compared to other comics that you see, especially compared to like the New 52 and all that sort of stuff, like Scott Snyder and all that shit. So so I'm looking forward to reading it. I've heard good things. It was originally a 4-part series, and so this is basically all 4 parts together in the graphic novel. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that bad boy, and I'll let you guys all know when I do read it, my thoughts on the comic.
Yes, look forward to hearing that.
Yeah, and then obviously, as I was saying earlier, I just picked up Justice League, Throne of Atlantis, Justice League War,
Yep.
and Justice League Gods and Monsters,
Fantastic.
which I was all looking for these. And as I was saying to you, Rob, earlier, been looking for them for ages, and then the one day I go in there thinking I'm not going. I was going to say no, I'm not going in there. I can't be fucked looking to be disappointed again. And my friend just goes, "Oh, why don't you have a look? You never know." They won't be in there. And then they were all there like that, next to one another on the shelf. I was ready to fucking punch a wall, but I was happy.
Empty your wallet.
That's it. I'm like, you bastards, you have to do it this week. So,
did you pick up Force Awakens?
Yes, picked up Force Awakens on Blu-ray for things like $23. At like, I think we were doing it.
You just got the Amaray, did you? The Amaray release?
Yeah, just the no, we didn't see the Steelbook when I looked for it, but
oh well, yeah, I went in on Monday, hoping it was going to be out. It was supposed to be released here in Australia on, I think, Wednesday or Thursday. And I went in on Monday hoping they were going to have it out. And lo and behold, they did. So they had, I think, about 15, 16 steelbooks left on the shelf. And I grabbed myself one of those. And it's an okay steelbook. It's not great. It's got a matte finish and it's got, hang on, I'll grab it very carefully. From between my Han Solo and Greedo bookends.
Ooh,
it's got the, Kylo Ren on the cover, Phasma on the back. Sorry about the glare there. But on the spine, it's only got, there's no title. It's only got the pictures of, who's it, Rey, Han, and Leia, and Kylo Ren. Oh no, and Finn is there as well. From those posters that they did where they had something running down in front of their face. Yeah. But it's an okay release. Nothing fancy. Probably, I don't know, give it a year or so, it'll probably still be available in all sorts of places.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that they didn't put 3D in there as well.
Well, they want to make you buy the 3D version in a couple of months' time, probably before Rogue One comes out. So you can buy the 3D version and you can get the sneak peek at Rogue One all at the same time. And you'll probably get a commentary as well. They'll probably do JJ might do a commentary for the thing, or they might splice something together like a cast commentary or something from interviews. We'll get something extra.
I was watching the behind the scenes on the Blu-ray, and that was quite interesting.
I watched that stuff as well.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, but like I do agree with you as far as a Blu-ray release goes. It was kind of like expecting a little bit more. But like you say,
I thought it was okay. I mean, personally, I've heard enough commentaries now to not want to hear any more commentaries, and I find that the best, documentaries and the best commentaries always come sometime after the film has been released. So there's been a bit of time for people to digest the film, and whether it builds up any kind of legacy or whether it's just does nothing at all. A gap between the film coming out and doing extras like that, I always find is better than when the commentaries and interviews and documentaries are made at the time, because everyone just gushes about everyone else and says how wonderful it all was and how good it was to work with someone, and it was just such a great experience and everyone had such a good time and nothing went wrong. And when the reality is it's not like that at all. The passage of time allows people to be a bit more honest in their opinions of not only the work, but also the people that they work with and how they work together, if I can put it that way.
Yeah, so a bit like a George Clooney moment, mate. Like I think Batman fans are really going to enjoy Batman and Robin. I think it's going to be.
That's right.
The Batman they've been waiting for, and then
we
get that.
15 years later, he's slating it all over the place. And
yeah, he's like, just don't fucking work.
That's right.
Don't do that.
It is.
If there's any bat nipples on your suit, just fucking run a mile. Just run. We don't want bat nips anymore.
No, thank you. Had enough of those.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's interesting to watch.
Yeah, I got a few more films through the week. I might save one of those for later. We'll see.
Rightio. Do you want to jump into some of the pieces I've found anyway?
Yeah, let's have a look.
Rightio. Why is the fucking? Oh, here we are. Just a second.
No problem.
Come on, computer. All right. Screen share. Share.
Oh, one more thing before we go on. Did you read about the Killing Joke animated film through the week? Did you read anything about that?
Yes, I actually have, and I'm very, very excited to hear that they're going with the R cut. It means they're staying very true to the comic.
Yes. I've seen clips about that. Thought about you when I read that. Well, you would be very happy to hear about.
I saw the trailer. Oh, my dad actually says to me, he goes, "Ryan, you do realise they're doing a Killing Joke movie?" I'm like, "You fucking what?" You know, like that was good enough. And then I thought to myself, it's like these animated films we got here. They're not kiddie friendly. Like even Son of Batman, Batman v Robin, and Batman Bad Blood. Like literally, there's snapping of arms, blood flying everywhere, killing. So it's not like DC animated films aren't all aimed at kids. You know what I mean? Unless you go to like Cartoon Network shit. But this is good. I like the fact that they've. So I mean, everyone goes, "Oh, it's just going to be for gore," but you read the Killing Joke. I don't have it here right now because I've got a friend that's borrowing it at the moment. Bastard needs to give it me back. But it's a very, very, very gruesome, dark comic. You know, it's very heavy, and it shows obviously the beginning. It's going to be interesting to see on the screen for the first time to show how Joker begins. And then also, I'd say, the fall of Barbara Gordon and things like that. It's going to be cool to see it recreated in movie form. So, obviously, like it's there almost, and which is cool. I mean, the closest recreation we've had to the Barbara Gordon shot and paralyzed scene was in the Arkham Knight game, where basically Batman has a vision. And Joker comes through the door with the Hawaiian shirt and the cap, and then bang, shoots Barbara Gordon, and that was quite a well done scene, even in the game, because there's blood. Even in that, there's blood. You know what I mean? There's a lot of blood, and it's quite a graphic scene to see. So, I'd say I think it's good. They've gone that way, and I think, like you say, it's going to allow them to be a bit more creative and keep it to the tone of the comic. So, I'm all for it. Can't wait.
That's something I'm really looking forward to. They do those animated films, I think, a lot better than they do live action most of the time. So when I read about that through the week, the R-rated version, I thought that's a good idea. That's going to keep it much closer to the source material, and I think give us a better product in the end. So I was very happy to read that.
I think the good thing as well is they have advertisement, these animated films, but a lot of them are straight to DVD. So there's a lot less marketing, and it all goes into the picture. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
and it's also quite impressive on how a lot of these films, they fit them into just like an hour and 20 minutes or something like that. Which is really impressive for a film. They managed to get the storyline, and it never feels, for me anyway, out of the ones I've watched, never felt cramped. So yeah, I'm excited. Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy.
Yes, coming back. Hang on, I've got something for you. Grab it. We are the holy grail of Batman.
What?
Yes. That's
oh my god.
That's the whole animated series. That was a set that was put out. Oh god, years and years and years ago, and now goes for heaps. Goes for big dollars now. It's got the whole thing, what is it, 109 episodes. It's a really nice set. I open it, there you go. I open it up. Get a nice big fat book with all the like storyboards and artwork, a whole lot.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's very nice. Beautiful set. Very glad I bought that when I did. And I still think that that's the best version of Batman we've had presented on television or film. That animated series.
But it's definitely one of the best for sure.
Yeah. Now you can put that on. I can put those on and still enjoy them. You know, geez, that's God. I remember watching that show when I was young. God. So it holds up really well, remarkably well. Yes, I'm getting Mark Hamill back. That's going to be nice as well.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Mark Hamill because he's one of the few voice actors that, when I was little, I've watched a bunch of his stuff or played games with him in it, and then when I found out it's him, I was like, "What? Really?" Like, I mean, everyone's like favorite Wolverine voice is Steve Blum, and rightfully so, because Steve Blum's a fantastic voice for Wolverine. But Mark Hamill did a voice for Wolverine as well. He voiced him in the video game X-Men Wolverine's Revenge. Yeah. And I loved him in that. I thought it was fantastic. He's awesome. Awesome voice. And not a lot of people know that Mark Hamill did that. But he was very good. Very good. Like you wouldn't pick him out. You'd be like, what? Like, really?
Yeah, no. He has real talent, doesn't he? That's voice acting.
I enjoy him in a TV show. I don't know if you've watched it on Cartoon Network. It's quite a hilarious show, and it's not really aimed at kids. It's actually like quite mature jokes in it, but regular show. Have you heard of that?
Oh yeah. No, I know the regular show.
Oh, love that show to pieces. Amazing. And Mark Hamill is Skips, who's just like awesome. Like I just like every time I see Mark Hamill now, I see Skips. I don't see the Joker. I see Skips from my regular show. It's that good. I love that show. Everybody goes on about Adventure Time. I'm like, fuck that shit off. Give me some regular show. Because and another one of my favorite voice actors worked on that show, and that's Roger Craig Smith. So who he voices. He's a voice of Sonic. He voiced Batman in Arkham Origins. He's also the definitive animated voice for Captain America right now as well. So he's a good voice actor, and he did the guy. I don't know if you remember the episode, The Realm of Darthon, and he goes, "The Realm of Darthon does not suck." That one. That's actually Roger Craig Smith. And Roger Craig
well. Have you been practicing?
Yeah. Well. I'm actually one of those people that likes to change the voice. Like I would naturally, if I talk to somebody and as I'm describing something, I will just randomly say it, and then sometimes it comes off like sounding like the person. And someone's like, do you do VO? I'm like, not really. I don't do voice acting. I said I probably suck at it because people are like staring at me and like, do it. And then I'd be like, no, I can't do it. So, but yes, I can do funny voices here and there when I'm bored all the time. Voices.
When you're in the shower, yes.
Yeah, just
But
bored.
we don't need to know anymore about that.
Yeah. But yeah, well, I say that show, regular show, and that show, I love that show for the voice acting. It's so good.
No, it's I like the, I don't know, the surreal qualities of it. Reminds me just a hint. There's a hint of, I don't know if you saw it. You know, the old Ren and Stimpy show. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Yeah.
There's just a hint of the sort of that surrealism that Ren and Stimpy had going on in spades that I enjoy quite a lot. So yeah, my nephew introduced me to Adventure Time and regular show. He's like showed me, like he's got, you know, the best of DVDs and stuff, and he's shown me a couple of compilations. They're good fun. They're good fun.
Yeah, I think the one thing I love about regular show is it's basically a homage to the 80s. Because the soundtracks that they use are all from the 80s, and they're very 80s nuts. So J.G. Quintel, who's the director and creator of the show, who does that, who also voices Mordecai, you know, he's very, very, when you hear him talk in interviews, he's always inspired by 80s stuff, you know, just like Kenny Loggins soundtracks, just so much. I mean, he wrote and directed.
It's like something different meaning when you're my age and you sort of live through all this the first time that happened.
Yeah. So, I mean, he wrote and directed a show. I don't know if you know what it's called. I've heard of it. It's called Camp Laszlo.
No.
It's basically like a scouts camp, but they're all animals, and it's just completely vile. Everyone is vile to one another. They're just so, it's like crude. But he wrote and directed that, and some of the episodes in that, you're like on the floor rolling, laughing. It was that funny. It's just some vile shit that they do, and it again, that's the difference. You know, you don't have to be all politically correct to just do it right. You know what I mean? And some great television. Big fan of it myself. I love Muscle Man. Muscle Man's one of my favourite characters.
They're lucky in a way. They're so low profile. They get to fly under the radar and just basically do whatever they like. We don't have enough money to do anything spectacular, so we'll just try and see how many weird and wacky references we can work in here.
Yeah, pretty much. But one of my favourite jokes actually in that show is when they're playing a video game and they're playing co-op together, and he goes, Rigby, he's like, kick him in the junk, and then be kicking him in the junk, but then he's got like junk by his private parts in the game, so it was like very cleverly worked in. So everyone's like, kicked in the junk, and then you go to the pans to like the TV, and he's actually holding junk right where his crotch is. So I was like, very clever, just daft stuff like that. It's very, very good. Like I say, big fan of that show, and my brother, he's obsessed with it. So yeah, a lot of fun.
Well, it's interesting. It's all about nostalgia, isn't it? Nostalgia sells. Nostalgia sells.
That's it.
It's a big industry. It's a big industry.
That's it. And
if you can tap into it, then there's a few dollars to be made.
That's it. And I haven't been watching it much lately. But if I just tune in and just see it on and I put it on, I always enjoy it.
Yes.
But I'm into big dumb humor, like Dumb and Dumber. I fucking love those because they're so dumb. Some people hate those films because they're so dumb that it insults their intelligence, because you don't pick up on it all. You're like, I didn't pick up on that, and then you feel stupid for not picking up on it. So I just love those films. And you know, like, people like, I hate that film, it's not even funny. I'm like, you're just too stupid to get it. I'm like, I'm not fucking stupid. And, you know, it's just it's a lot of fun. And another good one is Mel Brooks's Blazing Saddles. I'm a huge fan of that.
Blazing Saddles, that's great stuff. There you go. That's the juice right there. That's genius. Blazing Saddles. You can't go past Blazing Saddles.
I absolutely adore that film. I just watch it every time and go, this is the greatest thing ever. It's racist, but what I love about him is it's like a moral in the whole thing, is if you can't laugh at yourself, you know, you can't laugh at all. You know what I mean? It's about just being able to take the piss out of yourself. And just stuff like that, you know. But stupid humour like that, and daft humour, and completely just ridiculous humour, like you say, Ren and Stimpy, which again, awesome, and the animation and how they did it, you know.
But it's quite smart as well. You know, there's a lot of brains that go into creating that, and having all those wacky and wild references, and still making it cohesive at the same time. Now, another one that I really enjoy is what is it? SpongeBob SquarePants as well. The early seasons of SpongeBob. They're so smart. They're so smartly written. God, I find it. Well, I find it encouraging that it's so smartly written, which is, you know, strange when you say that about an animated show that is aimed at, you know, young folks. But, you know, there's always that level of.
Hang on. Don't know what's happened there, guys. Hang on one moment. If you're watching this still, I don't know what's happened with Rob. Find out what's going on. Oh, there we are.
I'm back.
Yeah, Rob.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. Google Plus. Plus. As I was saying, anyway, I'm going to continue my train of thought. You know, when you're talking about those shows, there's always that level of humour that's pitched at, you know, the younger set, and there's always that level of writing that's pitched at folks of maybe my age, and all adult jokes are strewn throughout these things as well. That's good. You know, you can enjoy them on that level, which is interesting. It makes it, you know, you can enjoy it as a young kid and enjoy all the silliness, and then watch it as an adult and spot all the jokes that you didn't get when you were watching it as a young person.
Yeah, that's it. And one of my favourite frigging jokes from SpongeBob is in the SpongeBob movie, not the latest one, the first one they ever did back in 2008. And it's the bit where they got like the Valley of Skulls, and they go in there, and there's this like suspicious looking lady in an ice cream store, and they're going through, and none of them have picked up. There's these skulls of dead fish everywhere, and then he goes up and he goes, "You want an ice cream, Pat?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'll have one," you know, and then he starts to twig. You think he's starting to twig? He's like, "Wait a minute," and he starts looking around, seeing all the skulls. And he goes, "SpongeBob!" And he goes, "Yeah, Pat." And he goes, "Make mine a chocolate." And then you're like, "Oh my God," you know what I mean? Like you think he's onto it, like the fact that there's frigging skulls everywhere, and then it's just he's thinking about his ice cream. It's just level of stupidity in that I just love. Just stupid shit like that. I love it. I think it's genius.
Yes, it's very funny show.
Oh,
Love it, love it.
yeah, brilliant. Well, anyway, we got that. So I'll tell you what, we'll jump into the quick collectibles that we've got here.
Yeah, no problem. That all came about because of the Killing Joke. But
it did.
SpongeBob,
Killing
Adventure Time, regular show, all because of the Killing Joke.
They're all the same, people.
Yes.
Same level. I mean, we've got an R-rated SpongeBob coming out, and I'm really looking forward. But yeah, seeing this Rob is bringing loads. Here we are.
Wow. Now yours is doing it.
All right. So can you see all this, Rob?
Okay, now I can see it. Yes, I know exactly what you got there. Fantastic.
Yeah. So
Are you getting it?
Am I getting it? Well,
that's the question. It's always the question.
I'd love to get it. I'd love to get myself a Tim Drake on Robin. That would be very cool. Reality, see? So, but yeah, just because they're so big, you know what I mean? Like, to have a Robin, you need a Batman. To have a Batman, you need a Robin.
That's right.
And yeah, but as far as like the pitch goes, it's fantastic, and really, I'm digging it.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And we did see how the Batman came out last week. We saw those in-hand photos, so you know you're going to be getting something that's of pretty high quality.
Yeah, I'm being serious now. I'm actually debating whether to save up for the legendary scale Affleck, you know what I mean, or something like that, or get some of the Arkham stuff. But that's I'm just debating between what to get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd love. I mean, the only thing that says to me about getting the Affleck is I'm already getting the spot on anyway. So it's basically like getting a big hot toy in a sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can get one that's smaller, just as good in quality, which is the hot toys, and that's on the hot toys. That, you know what I mean? But it'll be the size that sells this thing. You know what I mean? So I definitely like to get it. For sure.
Well, the thing is, if you get that, you've got to get the Superman to go with him.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
And you've got to get the Wonder Woman, which is, that's a big investment.
It is. And like that's to 160 hours, baby. The hot toys, isn't it? You know what I mean? Hot toys are just as good as that, as in detail and likeness, but this is bigger. That's it, really. That's the only difference between. Yeah, the only difference between this and the Hot Toys is size. When it comes to quality of head sculpt and that, Hot Toys are the best in the business, as we've already said before. So these guys aren't really breaking any new ground, as in making lifelike head sculpts, but damn, the head sculpts on the Prime One are excellent. So, and that's definitely Affleck. And like I said, if I could save up for one or do something like that, I definitely would. It's just a matter of saving up.
Yeah.
I got to redesign my room for my collectibles and things. like glitter in.
That's a lot of saving you'd have to go through as well. Get those pieces. They're as expensive
It
as
is.
they are.
Yeah. And I have faith that Brian will do a good job, considering all that stuff already. But yeah, a lot of. But like I said, no denying that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then there's the Superman again, looking pretty good. So there's that, and then I'll go to the Hot Toys. Come to the top. So they've just shown these. So it's the flame from.
Oh yeah, yeah, the flame trooper. Yeah, I saw someone. Who was that? Let me have a look. Who was it? Might have been Budget Stark, was it? I think he's over in Hong Kong. Yeah, Budget Stark.
Yeah.
Who, if you look up Budget Stark on YouTube, he's done a review of that piece.
Yeah.
Hot Toys. He's in Hong Kong. So if you want to check out what it looks like out of the box, you can go and look up his review. It's pretty good. And he collects a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, no, and he's got a very good channel.
Mm.
And then they've just announced this one, Captain America. Where it comes with this base, a brick wall base. So that's supposed to be the difference.
Yeah. Maybe it's his Age of Ultron, is it? No, this is
Civil War.
Civil War. One thing you can say about Hot Toys is they do strike when the iron is hot, unlike some other companies.
Yeah. Like I said, likeness, so it's bang on as well. You know.
Yeah, their likenesses are nearly always there.
Yeah.
Nearly always. They have the odd miss, but most of the time they're spot on the money.
Yeah. Out of all the Hot Toys I've bought, I've never bought one with a head sculpt that I thought was off.
Mm.
But then again, like I say, if you don't like the head from the get-go, you don't like it, do you? Let's face it. With a lot of people. But Sharon as well, Scottish. She looks really,
I had a look at this through the week, saw this one again. She just looks a bit.
Again.
Yeah, the likeness is really good. She's just a bit passive, I think.
Yeah.
In a likeness, I'd like a little more expression. That's all. Otherwise, again, it looks pretty spot on, doesn't it?
It's 100%. I'd say, like you say, it's just a matter of expression.
Yeah. A little more expression, and that'd be really nice.
But that's that. So double check. And then here's Black Panther.
Oh yeah, the Black Panther. Now this looks really nice. They have done a bang-up job with that. The costume on it looks great.
Yeah.
That looks really, really nice.
Yeah. Oh, that's superb looking.
I wonder, well, I guess if you're an Avengers fan, Civil War fan, you're probably very happy and very sad at the same time.
Yeah.
It's good that Hot Toys are able to put out this amount of pieces this quickly, based on this one property.
They seem to have lately upped like their speed, because they used to. By the time they released the figure, like everyone had forgotten about the film. But like you say, they're more on the money this time. On time, perfect timing, a lot of it.
Yeah, you got to be, don't you? You want to be able to take advantage of the hype while the hype's there, not a year, 2 years after the film has come and gone, and the hype's all died down around it.
That's it. This is the Nick Fury. And that looks amazing there. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
The eye. Again, they just nailed his likeness.
Yeah, another winner.
Yeah, fantastic, eh? Nick Fury. But yes, a few things. Like I say, they're just promoting Star Wars a lot of the time, and that, so. And this is the new another prototype head sculpt for the hand's been a bit divisive because it's somewhat there to Paul Rudd, but it's only 100%. It looks a lot like Ben Affleck, and I'll show.
Ah, yes, I read about that through the week as well. Yes, everyone's complaining. There's Ben Affleck under the helmet.
There we are. Can you see that?
Yeah. There he is, Ben, playing Batman and Ant-Man all at the same time.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know why you'd even use that head sculpt. You'd just go with a helmeted head sculpt, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's strange because they done a head sculpt. They did it on the first man. But they did it so the visor popped up and then his face was on the inside. And like I say, the likeness to it was bang on. It was like, and that throws me. They nailed it the first time, so I didn't think, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The likeness, like the first figure they ever did was what the super really cool. Looking forward to Civil War. What about you, Rob?
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty good. If it's of the same quality as Winter Soldier, it should be a good watch. Not getting overexcited for it, but it'll be interesting to catch up. So what is opening in a couple of weeks, isn't it? 3 weeks or something?
Yes. So I'll move that back now onto the Main screen. Right, yeah, I'm back again.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, like I say, Civil War. Looking forward to it. You know, like I say, the Russo brothers are great directors, so I have faith in them. You know, so.
Yeah.
But,
Well, the early reviews have been promising.
yeah, like I say, I'll reserve my own judgment till I see the film. And also, like I say, critics aren't always right. They could be hyping this film up, and then it could be a pile of shit. We never know. But I mean, like I said, they weren't exactly right about Batman v Superman, were they? Like 29% on Rotten Tomatoes. It is not. Definitely. Even if you didn't like that film, that's too low. You know.
Yeah.
And also, right now, the only people that have released the reviews are the ones who've gone to the early premiere and have had access to the film. And
that's
so, again, you have to take them with a grain of salt.
Well, you always take every review with a grain of salt, don't you? Especially in this day and age.
Yeah, there's so much bias, and like people being biased now, and just things like that. You know, like I say, I can strongly disagree. It's like Batman v Superman. At minimum, I'd have said, if I had to guess with the Rotten Tomato score, Rob, I'd have said 60 to 70% range. That'd be at least, you know. And I'm sure. What do you think about that for the quality of the film? I mean,
well, yeah, that's where I would sort of have it.
Yeah, and that's it.
To sort of fall.
And like I say, and then this, like I say, I hope Civil War's good. I don't hate on Marvel. I've no bias. Again, I've said this a million times, and I'm a huge Cap fan. So I mean, if you can see,
I like Cap
the Hot Toys. Yeah, I mean, if you see the Hot Toys figures I've got Cap 1, so his World War II armor. Then I've got Cap 2, Steve Rogers and the Stealth, and then my plan is to get Cap 3. I've skipped all the Avengers ones and just get the Caps because I've always liked Cap and everyone overlooked him.
Yeah,
and he has the best films in the series.
Yes, I've said before. My favourite piece in my collection, the piece I'd sell last, is, I don't know if you can see him, just up there.
Yeah.
Where is it? Right there. That piece. Yeah, that's, people talk about grails. That it really is a grail. It's an old piece. I got it at retail from Sideshow. It is a grail now, but it is still, all these years later, my favourite piece in my collection. And if I had to sell everything, it'd be the last piece I'd sell. You know,
yeah.
I like it so much. I have an exclusive in here in my room, and I have a reg in my other section with all the other OG Avenger PFs, like the original Thor and the original Iron Man with the flag, and you've seen them all, the Spider-Man comic kit, those pieces. That's how and I don't often do that, go and buy two of the same piece, but that's how much I like that piece. And the Red Skull goes really well with it, and even Bucky down the end here, one of Sideshow's most underrated pieces. That, if you've ever seen that in person, it's great. It's a fantastic piece. The mixed media on it is spot on. The paint apps are spot on. The only issue people had with it was the exclusive sculpt, which is an unmasked portrait, but otherwise it's, I think it's one of Sideshow's most underrated pieces, and you can still get it really cheap, which is surprising, or maybe not surprising. People don't talk about it. No one ever writes it up or says much about it. Because I don't think many people got it out there, but it's a really, really underrated piece. I love it. Beautiful. So Yes, I'm with you on that. Cap all the way.
Yeah. I'd say Marvel, the MCU, I have to give them credit on this because they've been more or less, for me personally, now that again, that depends on the person you ask, but apart from Thor the Dark World, they've been consistently, for me, been pretty strong films. And for a series that's got all these films, they've been very, like I say, not many series can keep that level of consistency.
Yeah.
That the MCU have had. I mean, I know you don't like Age of Ultron, but I don't absolutely hate Age of Ultron. I just think it's a good film that could have been better, and there was definitely flaws about overlooked by critics. That's my biggest thing with this. But like I said, the only one MCU film that I would say is okay at best, and it's not the worst film I've ever seen, but it's definitely the shit of the franchise, and that is Thor: The Dark World. Just nah. That film is very poorly put together, and compared to the rest, it was just a load of mindless action. And the only good bits in it really were Loki, and and that's about it. Especially riding off the back of the first one, anyway, which was directed by Kenneth Branagh, and he's masterfully made that film. It was one of the best of the one of the best of the first lot of films. So, but like I said, apart from Thor: The Dark World, which was still a passable film at scraping through, you know what I mean, like really, really scraping. Apart from that, I believe the MCU across the board has been very strong. None that I'd say outright terrible. Some are better than others, obviously, but that's like anything. But like I said, I think people will look back at the MCU when it's all done and dusted, and they'll have all these films, this gigantic, like, just collection, and go, wow.
Ryan, you made a mistake, mate. You made a mistake. You just said it's going to be dusted and dusted. It'll never be dusted.
Well, that is true. Yeah, it generally is the case. They'll just keep going.
They'll keep pumping them out forever now. It's,
I do believe superhero films.
It's the never-ending story.
I think superhero films eventually will die out, just because it's like anything. Everything has its moment. And
well, something will come along and change the paradigm eventually, but I don't think that's going to happen for quite some time.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I think what will happen is, to change that paradigm, there'll need to be something radically different done to the form itself, or some new piece of technology to come along and just change the game in such a big way that things are altered. But hey, maybe people will become sick of them and just stop going, though there doesn't seem to be much of that happening, does it? It's people seem to just keep lapping them up. They keep making them, and people keep going.
Yeah, and I think though what we've got to take into consideration is, and a lot of people don't appreciate it because a lot of people weren't born when, like, early, especially people who were born after the 2000s. I mean, when I was little, when I was very young, like very little, I remember watching like the Hulk films, thinking that they were the dog's bollocks, but let's face it, they weren't. And things like that. I mean, there was a time when comic book films, they wouldn't touch them really. You had Batman, and you had the Richard Donner Superman, which was all those years ago. But after that, really, no one dared to touch a comic book film because it was always failed.
I think in the case of when they made those original films, especially the Donner films, they were made to a very high quality for their time, which was, we're talking 1977, 78, which is nearly 40 years ago now. But those original Donner films made to that quality costs an immense amount of money, huge sums of money, scary sums of money. And I don't think, after what was spent on those films, it took a long while for studios to come around to be willing to invest that kind of coin in those types of films again. Because we're not, when Superman the movie, the first one was made, they were making, obviously the two films together, Superman 1 and Superman 2. And when Donner was fired or let go, I've read that those two films, they'd shot 1.5 films at that point. When Donner was fired, basically, they'd shot all of Superman 1 and half of Superman 2, and they'd spent between $40 to $50 million US. This is back in 1977, 78. So that's like the size of probably the Australian economy at that time. It's a massive sum of money to be spending on a film, and you've got to have balls of steel to double down and hope and spend that kind of money. I mean, these days it can be done. When you look at against Superman, back then they didn't know how to make it. How were they going to make him fly and make it look plausible? How was it going to be done? No one knew how it was going. Today it's easy to do it. Back then it was hard, and no one knew how it was going to be done. They had to create camera systems and rigs and photochemical systems to make all this work, and that's expensive. When you're experimenting, it's expensive. Nowadays it's easy. It's very easy. Still expensive, but much easier.
Yeah, like I say, I think ever since after like the Tim Burton stage, I think, like I say, about making, having the balls to do a superhero film, no one did. But honestly, if there's two people we can thank for the superhero films that we get now, I mean, quality superhero films, and what I mean by quality is from like Iron Man 1 onwards and things like that. You know what I mean? And the two people you can thank for that is Christopher Nolan for reviving Batman and people's confidence in superhero films, and then Jon Favreau for kickstarting the MCU. Those two people pretty much revived.
It goes back a little further than that. The two that really kick-started it were the first Blade film. And Blade. The director's name I can't think of at the moment. And the first Bryan Singer X-Men film.
And the X-Men films as well.
The first X-Men. Because the thing about that first X-Men film and Blade they were both medium budget films by Hollywood standards, especially X-Men. That was, I think it was about a $70 million film when that was made, which was not super expensive. That was not an expensive film by any means. Not a cheap film, but not super expensive. $70 million. He had a good cast. Again, you think of all the people who were in that first film. And it did well enough at the box office to spawn all the sequels and what have you that's come since. And I think it was that that studios saw that these films could be made for a reasonable budget and still make money. So they sort of jumped on board and thought, hey, we can go ahead and make these. Spider-Man came shortly after, and again, you're talking about the MCU and all. These things all came in the wake of really those two films, which showed studios that, hey, the time had come where we had the technology and the wherewithal to be able to make these films at a reasonable cost for a reasonable return. And why not? And if you think about it, you sort of draw the parallels to the sort of 40s, the 50s, the 60s, where, you know, in terms of US cinema, it was the Western was the staple of, you know, US cinema through those eras. And again, why was the Western made so prevalently? Why was it made so much? Because it was relatively cheap to make a Western. You know, you could go out there and you could reuse all the sets that have been used by all the other Westerns when they'd shot, you know, earlier. And you have to build half a town instead of building the whole town, kind of thing. And they could be done relatively cheaply and relatively inexpensively. And we, you know, with superhero films now, the same sort of rules apply. It's, yes, they are expensive and can get very expensive, but it's easier to do it now. And you can go into a film like, well, we've got Civil War coming up, and a filmmaker can now budget for that film. They know how long it's going to take to shoot that effects sequence. They know how long it's going to take to shoot, you know, these very heavy effects sequences, and they can budget for it. Whereas when they made that first Donner film, and Burton, when he was making the first Batman film, a lot of the time they couldn't budget for those films because they didn't know how they were going to do these things. How the hell do we make Superman fly? It might, you know, we might solve this problem in a week, but it might, in the end, I think it took them pretty much a year to actually work out how they were going to make it work. They had to invent a camera rig to do it, the Zoptic system to, you know, to get Chris Reeve to fly. And that kind of experimentation, you can't budget for it because you don't know how long it's going to take and what kind of resources it's going to soak up as you try and crack the problem, so to speak.
Yeah, that's it. And yeah, like I say, we're just fortunate nowadays we've got such good comic book films, you know, and quality films. And I think, like you say, a lot of people appreciate that because, you know, like I say, these older films, starting out there, what pretty much pioneered, you know, it can be done, you know, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, say what you want about Marvel or Disney or whatever you want to say about, like, you know, pumping them out quite regularly. They're doing it, and they're doing it well. They're probably one of the most efficient companies to pump out quality films on a yearly basis, you know, even monthly.
They've got it down to, it's an assembly line now. That's what it is. It's the old, you know, Model T, Ford, the McDonald's. It's, you know, it's the same. It's, again, that whole idea of the Western. It's an assembly line. It's an assembly line. You just keep churning them out, churning them out, churning them out. And again, if you go back to sort of the whole idea of the Western, most of them were made by, you know, sort of run-of-the-mill directors, sort of, you know, work-for-hire directors. They weren't made by your big name directors of the time. They were made by your sort of, you know, obviously you had your John Fords and, you know, these sorts of people working in the genre, but a lot of the time they were made by, you know, the sort of directors for hire kind of thing, but jobbing directors who just, you know, they would take any job that had come their way. Again, it's that whole assembly line. Just keep pumping it out, and as long as people are lapping it up, they'll keep making them.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah, that's it. Funny thing now, Westerns don't sell at all, do they now? If you think about it.
No. We get the odd one come along every couple of years that does good business and, you know, sort of attempts or threatens to revitalize the genre, but its time has passed, and we're in the Star Wars era now, so everything's got to have, you know, that sort of touch of fantasy and a touch of special effects about it. That's what we lived through, and we're still living through it now. Star Wars was really the end of the Western. Where you could say sort of something like Heaven's Gate. I don't know if you're familiar with Heaven's Gate, the Michael Cimino film. that was made a few years after Star Wars that ended up bankrupting United Artists in, what was it, I think 1980, 81.
Oh, right.
Because it cost so much money and just went into such overages. And Cimino was just a lunatic shooting clouds and oh god, it's all.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, go and watch it and then read about the making of it, because it's an interesting. The making of the film is more interesting than the film itself, much more interesting. But that was probably the real death of the Western, so to speak. Anyway, do you want to look at some more pictures?
Sure, let's do it. You got some pictures of your own, have you?
Yeah, not many. Okay, can you see Hulk on screen there?
Just a second, I'll just present you to everything.
Beautiful.
Present. There we go. All right, Robbie, good to go, mate.
Okay, so that's these are some pictures of the in-hand Halimar King Hulk on throne that folks have just started receiving. That's a custom piece from Halimar's a company in the Philippines that obviously do unlicensed pardon me, pieces, and people say this is quarter scale. It's pretty big. I think it looks pretty nice. The initial there was an initial batch of photos on it that weren't the best photos, and everyone was screaming, "Oh my God, the sky's falling in! It's like Chicken Little," that kind of thing. And some other folks got it in hand and took some decent photos, and now everyone's turned around 180 degrees and they go, "Oh yeah, that's a nice piece, not bad at all." And considering it's it is a custom, it's turned out quite nicely. So just a few pics of that. I'm not getting this piece myself. I do have something from them coming, and obviously I'll talk about that more when it turns up. Which, because they are a custom outfit, their lead times tend to be longer than Sideshow and your other big manufacturers, and you tend to get delays and all that kind of thing. But it's just you just got to live with it. But they're a reputable company. If you're interested, or if anyone's interested, you just jump on Facebook, and they're on Facebook, and you can get to them through Facebook. Okay, this is one you might be interested in. This was a teaser for the Prime 1 Bane.
Yeah, that's from Arkham Origins.
Yeah, thought you might be interested in this. I think that's the only stuff we've seen so far. So, it looks pretty interesting. I'm sure it'll be up to their usual standard.
Yeah, really.
And this is something else you might be interested in. We saw the Prime 1 Trinity finished, half scale, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman, obviously. So what are they, $2,000 each? So that's US dollars. So Ryan, you'll be sort of broke till you're about 30, I reckon, by the time you pay these three off.
Probably.
There's them, and here's some close-ups.
That's not a bad film at all.
Yeah. Looks very nice.
I mean, the Hot Toys one is spot on as well. But that's pretty darn good.
Well, it's like half scale, so if it's coming out like that at half scale, that's going to look pretty special. Let's just go back and have a quick. I mean, that looks really nice.
Oh, it's fantastic, scale. Man.
Bloody enormous.
I think if I did start with them, I'd have to get Batman, you know what I mean? And then I'd work my way. Like, I'd get Batman, see how I feel with Batman, and then if I'd go for Superman next. And then the worst part about it is as well, which fucking gay is right in the background as there's the armored Batman going, hey, but look, there's one more.
Right there.
Ooh,
And,
you know, but
and the other thing you got to think of is when they do Justice League and they do, the films, individual films for the other characters that they introduce, they're
yes.
probably going to get around to doing half scales of them as well. That's
I know.
the same issue. I have the Sideshow Trinity version, the comic version of Batman, Wonder Woman, and the comic Superman. And now they're releasing a new Green Lantern and they're putting out another Green Lantern, and they're doing Aquaman as well, the Aquaman PF, which I think looks really nice. But I haven't ordered either of them, because if I order either of them, it means you have to get the other one, and then you have to get obviously Martian Manhunter when they do him, and then you got to get the Flash when they do him. So it's like if I get one more, in essence, you're having to get 4 more characters. So it's it's not.
I mean, for me, if I got these legendary pieces, Rob, that's it, a big if. If I did get them, I'd be happy with just bats and suits, or just Batman. You know what I mean? But I know what you're saying, like the idea of having them all. I mean, these people. I mean, I've seen people saying, "Oh, I've got 2 of each," and I'm like, "How the fuck do you afford 2 of each?"
Where would you play it?
Exactly.
You put them out in your garden or something. I don't know. I don't know where unless you're so rich, you have a personal museum or something. I don't know where you would display 2 pieces like that, let alone, have the whole of the Justice League.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's Wonder Woman, Prime 1. This was something I don't know, stumbled across somewhere. This is the XM Thor that's just come out, and I own this Thor in the middle, which I still think is the best, and that's the Sideshow, the new modern Thor. Just a little comparison pic that someone put up that I thought was interesting. Personally, I still love the original Sideshow Thor. I've got the exclusive with the bearded portrait, and that kicks all kinds of ass. It's really nice. It's great.
Yeah.
The XM one, I gotta say, I do not like it at all. It's never done anything for me. I think it's up there with their Hulk. The first Hulk they put out is just the portraits on it are bad. Eric Sosa sculpted this thing, but I'm not really a huge fan of his style. And sort of the excessive musculature. I'll spit it out in a minute. I'm not a fan of that. Not my cup of tea. If I have to.
I will be with you there. XM, for all the hype you've been getting from people, I am one of those people that sits there and goes, what are they on about? Because obviously for someone who collects Hot Toys, first thing I notice is head sculpt. And Hot Toys, yes, I know Hot Toys are working off real people and they have to be spot on in order to replicate a real person. And these aren't. I get that. But even like you say, from even in an animated, light-looking form, you want a good job. I mean, the 2 on the left, the one in the middle and the one on the far left, at least you can say sculpt-wise, both of them are superior to that one.
Yeah. I've never, I don't know what it is, that face sculpt just, oh man, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm not a fan of it at all, and it should have been redone. But anyway, that's what people are getting in hand. If you're happy with it, good luck to you. I personally am not a fan of it. Anyway, onwards and upwards. This is a painted Boba Fett from XM, which
that looks nice.
It looks okay, but I've got to say, looking at that, I far prefer the Sideshow mixed media version. I think I think the mixed media on this character works much better than fully sculpted. Here's an example of where mixed media trumps, in my opinion, fully sculpted. I think the mixed media just looks great on the sideshow version, both versions, whereas this fully sculpted, I don't know, there's something about it that just doesn't gel for me, doesn't work for me.
To be honest, out of all the XM pieces, I mean, you know me, this doesn't look like an XM piece. It looks something more high quality. That's just me personally. Like I said, I agree where you're coming from, but as far as fully sculpted goes, this is not a bad job at all. Like, you look at that and you go, that's a fucking awesome step. And, you know, it is good. I am really impressed.
I'm sure it'll sell out in probably 60 seconds or something if it hasn't sold out already.
Yeah, I think pose-wise and that, it's a lot better than the sideshow. That's just me being a personal head. It's just more, it's something different. He's not standing on something. He's like, you know, he's got his jetpack and it's just very actiony. But it works. It all works into one, and I personally like it. And that's just, like I say, that's just me. But I do agree with you, you know, like mixed media for Boba Fett. If you're going to do it on anybody, he's an appropriate one to do it on. But like I say again,
I saw the picture and thought, you know, hey, the sideshow looks. I just prefer the mixed media on it for some reason.
Yeah,
I just think it looks better. Anyway,
I think it's one of them that you have to see in person, aren't you, as well? So
yeah. XM, they announced that they're returning to their X-Men line.
Oh, okay.
A few, I don't know, about 6 months ago, might have even been longer. They, you know, there was a big tiff between Disney and Fox over who owned what, and, you know, and Disney were sort of maneuvering to make sure Fox couldn't exploit the rights that they had to X-Men characters, and one of the ways they were doing that was stopping various bits of merchandising from being released, and, you know, that sort of affected XM in terms of what they were doing. And again, you know, the fact that people outside of their regions that they're allowed to sell to were getting a hold of their early pieces peed off a few collecting companies, and they were told, you know, cease and desist, don't make any more X-Men pieces, but now they're supposedly being given the go-ahead to make more. So it'll be interesting to see what they put out.
Does that mean they'll be doing Cable again? Yeah.
Supposedly, that's what I've read. It's all back on the drawing board. Cable, Brown, Wolverine, the whole lot. Maybe that's the old Sentinel diorama that they were talking about doing. And this was, lastly, just to finish off, a funny photo with Daisy Ridley and Mark Hamill. We talked about him earlier in the evening, revisiting Yoda from Empire Strikes Back, which I thought was a nice photo that I saw through the week.
Yeah, he's quite a funny guy, Hamill. He's got a good and I like how he winds up fan. Someone said to him on Twitter once, they said, "Mark, please answer me, say anything," and his reply to them was anything. So, he'll take the piss. He's very good, very good. He's a funny bloke.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all I got. Very, like I said earlier, slow week. So
definitely.
Yeah, slow week. So not much else to talk about. I think we've covered just about everything that's has gone down through the week. It has been a little slow week. But again, leading up to Comic-Con, and I think was it New York Comic-Con and all these San Diego, obviously.
Yeah,
It's the calm before the storm.
That's it. And I think we'll have a lot to talk about when the Comic-Con stuff comes out.
Yeah,
and that will be that. We'll have to do a Comic-Con special when that happens.
That'll probably go forever.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, like, we've got a lot of things like Comic-Con coming up, and then also we've got our own Comic-Cons and Supernovas and things coming up with things going on there. I'm hoping Gal Gadot goes to Perth, because at the moment she's scheduled to go to Perth. So Wonder Woman, so that'd be awesome. I'll be like, fuck yeah, let's get my picture taken with her. And also got voice actor Troy Baker coming, which is, I don't know if you know who Troy Baker is. He does the voice. He's one of the voices to Joker in Arkham Origins. He's voiced Joel in The Last of Us. He's Lego Batman. He's done many voices. He's a big voice actor. He's also voice of Two-Face as well. So he does quite a lot. So that'll be cool to see him. Sean Astin's going as well from the Lord of the Rings series.
Oh, yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah, so so far good long enough. I think Gal Gadot is going to be the biggest one. With it being in Batman v Superman, and there's a huge amount of Batman v Superman fans in Perth. I know that because I go to a comic book store and there's full of people who are like, it was fucking amazing. So everyone seems to be pumped for her, and I'm just thinking about right now whether to get like one of the DC collectibles Wonder Woman statues or something, and then getting her to sign it. That would be cool.
Yeah. Well, if she's going to turn up, you'll have to take something along.
Yeah, like I say, I'll get her to sign that, and then I'll probably have my photo with her as well. Batman and Wonder Woman side by side, so it's
sounds like a plan.
Does sounds badass, and like I say, hopefully she stays, hopefully she comes. But obviously with her schedule with Justice League and she's filming the rest of Wonder Woman, and then she'll be filming Justice League Part 1 as well. So she's going to be busy.
That's always going to be the thing, when they make these commitments, they're maybe not as busy as they were, or they thought they might be when the con comes along, and then the con comes along and they've got 3 things going on at once, and it's like, bye-bye.
Yeah.
How often do these people come down to little old Australia? Not too often. Probably about the only time they come down here is when they are actually shooting something.
Yeah. I mean, the only time I've had an actor come straight out of the films and come to Perth was Carl Urban. He just finished, Star Trek Into Darkness just came out on cinemas like 2 weeks before. I saw him on the cinema, saw it, went and watched it, then met him in real life. And while he was doing that, he was filming his television series that only did 1 season. It was called Almost Human. So he was filming the pilot episode for that at the time. But that was cool meeting him, because it was like 1 minute you see him on the cinema, and then next minute he's like right in front of you, and you're like, oh shit. That was cool. And he was here the other week as well. He was at Comic-Con, but I didn't go to Comic-Con in Perth, but apparently it was pretty bad because no one turned up. So apparently I didn't miss much. So and the one thing is Comic-Con, Oz Comic-Con here, if people don't know, I don't know if it's like that the same over in Sydney, but I find that Supernova is generally better than Comic-Con. Just because they have a better lineup of stars and they're usually more organised. What I've gathered anyway.
Well, we'll have to get Charlie on in the next couple of weeks and ask him about his experience down in Adelaide. See what he got up to down there besides working the booth.
yeah, so that was interesting. I saw those videos, and yeah, it's got. I don't know why you didn't call them chin collectibles or something like that, or or trump cards or something like that. That would have been, chin trumps. That's what you should call them. Instead of top trumps, it's chin trumps collectibles. And you get his cards going. And we could have like a special limited edition Charlie card with like real beard, facial hair just stuck to it, so you can just be like, I have, collectible facial hair from Charlie. He's Obi-Wan Kenobi. So yeah, that would be good and funny. But yeah, so yeah, you still there, Rob? You got your camera on? Because it looks like it's gone off at the moment. I don't know what's going on here.
No, I'm back.
Oh, yes. Okay, no worries. But yeah, no, but he's a funny bugger, Charlie. He'd be good to have back on. Yes. And maybe some of the other guys eventually when they're a bit more free. We'll never know. But one thing I will say is double digits this episode, so we made it. 10 episodes. 10 episodes, and we've been doing this for over 10 weeks. So pretty good, pretty consistent. So yeah, I think it's been good. And like I say, Rob, I can't thank you enough for doing this, because without you doing this, wouldn't have it. It'd be just me talking to myself. That would be boring, just thinking about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like I say, we've made it to 10 episodes, and if anybody is thinking about jumping on, feel free to jump on. Just give us a message in the comment section if you are interested, and we can help you so you can join and chat with us. More people that join, the better, I think. More people, more opinions, more topics to discuss. Anything like myself or Rob miss, obviously. Anything like that, would be great. So if anybody or any of the lads that usually would jump on and haven't been on in a while, if you feel you want to jump on, let us know. It will be a lot of fun. And like I say, we're doing it on Sundays, obviously now, as everyone knows, which works in a little bit better for people. A little bit more extra time. And less work. But yeah, well, like I say, it's been good so far chatting. So, and as always, just
hopefully
Australian keeps going. Spirit of the chip.
To look forward to into the future.
That's it. So I say we've got a good year coming up. Got a lot of movies to talk about. Got a lot of collectibles that I assume will be coming out. And I'll keep you posted on the Prime One shit. Whatever I do with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I would definitely like a piece from them. I mean, if it was I know the Arkham Knight would be nice. The Arkham Knight Batman. I would be happy with that. From what I've seen, the pictures, sculpt, paint application, it's just top notch. So we'll see. And like I say, it's not just about what you want; it's size, money, everything. So, and I'm thinking about, like I say, rearranging my room around Rob. I mean, I don't know if you can see actually. If I turn the camera there, where the Batman bust is there. I'm thinking about moving the TV in the surround system, like this desk, shoot over here and taking that out, and then having it running across the bottom. And that might, if I did get a bigger piece, that would hold that down there. And then on this back wall, is just have collectibles running all around. So that would be the plan. Anyway, if it all goes well.
I'm still going through it. So I started this room renovation at Christmas time, or just after Christmas time. And what are we into? April, coming up towards the end of April, and I'm still putting things together and moving things around and working out where things are going to go. And I mean, I don't want to show you the floor in here because it's literally covered in piles of Blu-rays and movies and laser discs and all sorts of stuff. Oh god, yes, it's a marathon effort, and then probably once it's all been sorted out, it's all been put in its place, I want to change everything around again. So
that's it.
That's the beast, isn't it?
It is. Like, say you got collectibles you want to factor in. Then there's the posters that I want to end up putting up, so I'm going to have to change around my display to suit that. Then there's the fact that we've had ideas of comic books I've been reading over the years or whatnot, having them sort of on display in some way or form, you know, just so you can appreciate the cover arts, or even just put them on display so someone can grab them and just have a flick through and see the comics. So, yeah, there's a lot to think about, but take it one step at a time, as always. And
absolutely. Maybe by the end of the year, I might be ready to shoot that video, the room tour video. Maybe by next Christmas it'll be done. God.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to it. I know that.
It's turning into bigger than Ben-Hur, I've got to say. Bigger than Ben-Hur.
But it'll be good. I think it'll be good when we see it.
It'll be very nice. It'll be very nice when it's done. It looks, as I glance around, everything's sort of roughly in its place. But it's just, you know, I've had a couple of ideas about, let's move these things. Well, everything's in the room, but it needs to now be, let's say, finessed. That's probably a good word. We need to finesse the room a little bit and get everything, not just in the room, but in its proper place in the room. That might be the best one to just put it. Yeah. Once that happens, then we'll maybe do something about a room tour video or a collection video or something like that.
Yeah, I'll have to do a video as well of the update with the cinema room and the displays in there, and show you all that as well. I've just been on hold lately because just been given a new phone. It's actually, my dad's got a new phone, and then he's gave me his old one, which is a fairly relatively new phone. It's the Samsung Galaxy S5, but I use all the video things on my iPhone. So I'm just learning the ins and outs of the phone right now because I got no bloody idea. So yeah, I mean, the iPhone was good, but the charger's dying on it now and things, so it's buggered. So I was due in for a new one.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'll figure out how to use this phone properly, and
you'll probably figure out how to use that phone by the time I figure out where I'm going to put all this stuff in this room.
I think you're giving me too much credit here, Rob. Seriously.
No, not at all.
Like watching a chimp with an iPad with me, I can tell you. Well, it's literally watching a chimp with an iPad, more or less. You know, figuring them out, new operating system and new video editors and all that crap. So I'll have to just sit there one day and be like, when I get home from work or whatever, and just like, all right, how do I do this? And just figure it out. And then when I do, we will have videos and probably better looking videos as well, because apparently the camera on this is a lot better than on the iPhone. So you might get higher res video or high quality. So that'll be good, and be able to film things in lower light. So that's always handy as well. So that'll be good. And like I say, if I can I mean, I was planning on doing a video for Keaton, the returns Keaton, but I just haven't bothered because I haven't had the time.
Yeah.
And I think my last bigger video was, I think it was the Mezco Batman. I don't know if I've got my facts right. So and that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun to make and posing, and yeah, so
yeah, it takes a lot of time, doesn't it? Even to do something,
it does.
Even to do something rough and ready still takes time. And
that's it.
When you're busy, it's very hard to find the time to do these things.
It is,
anyway, I think we might have to
wrap it up.
Yes.
Yep, sounds good. And like I say, thanks again, Rob.
No problem.
Another great chat. Even though it's a small
week, same bat channel.
That's it. That's it. We can do it again. And like I say, it's been quite a week with collectibles, but we've managed to talk enough and have some good to talk about. So that's always good. And
we'll have a look at the Grey Hulk next week. Hopefully he'll be on his base and we can have a look at him.
Well, you can just tease us a bit at a time. You can just next week have the body without saying the week after. You slowly put it together throughout the week.
It'll be another project for Christmas, okay? Christmas 2016, he'll be ready.
That's it. Alright, then, Rob.
Okay, take it easy then. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, and we'll talk soon. I'll see you next week, same time again. And hopefully, if anybody else wants to join as well.
Absolutely. No problem.
Right, yeah.
More the merrier.
All right, then. That's it. Very true.
Have a good week, and we'll catch you soon.
You too. See you later. Bye.
Bye.